hate how when I smile, like, this side of my mouth, like, covers my teeth. Anyway, sorry. Thoughts?
We could sit here and pick out our own flaws for hours.
No.
That's a terrible idea.
No, I'm just gonna stare at you and not myself. I usually look at you and
That's
not
kinda
me.
what I do. I'm just like, "Don't look at me," because then I'm gonna be like, "Oh, my hair. Oh, my fucking lipstick. Ugh."
Ew.
Stand by please, electric sound, wardrobe, wig, stage management, stage crew, flies and all technical departments.
Welcome to Leave the Ghost Light On. Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to Leave the Ghost Light On. As always, my name is Jill, and with us is...
It's me. It's Danica. That's me again.
It's Danica.
I'm back again.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I
Yep.
never left.
I know. Have you been adjusting to life back in America?
Yeah, I hate it.
I
I even told my my boss today. I saw him in passing. I was like, "Hi, I hate it here. I'm going back to Prague."
And he or she was
He was
like,
he was
mhm.
like, "Yeah, that makes sense."
Yeah, they weren't in Prague with you, were they?
No.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Yeah. I
Yep.
think everybody gets it. And
Oh,
actually his big response was, "Yeah, well, you're just in time for the conclusion." I was
the
like,
conclu
"Oh,
the
of
conclusion.
of America."
Oh. I was
Just
like, "Is that a
just got a good point.
show?"
Good point.
Yeah.
Like, hooray.
Mhm. No, that's definitely fair. Well, I'm missing I know I was only there for a week and a half or 2 weeks, but I'm missing Scotland so bad.
Goodness.
A puppy.
She's mad about there are birds outside being very loud, and she's not
Ah,
pleased.
and she's not having any of it.
So welcome to this episode, of us trying to get back into the swing of things. We
Mhm.
actually decided that because this is episode 10 for us, that we are going to be covering theater superstitions.
Mhm.
And I actually, with my former podcast that I had, which is the Theater Nerd podcast with Joshua Brewer, we actually covered some, but I feel like the research that Jill and I have done on for this episode is even more like intensive and
Mhm.
all encompassing. So I'm very excited to get started.
Mhm.
I want to start off by reminding listeners that if you didn't catch them before, we have already covered the superstitions of Macbeth and the Ghost Light.
Yes, that was in
So
episode 5.
5. Thank you. I was going to say I don't remember which number that was,
Mhm.
so thank you for
Yep,
thank you for that.
episode 5, 'cause then I suggested that we do the other superstitions this episode, 'cause this will be episode 10.
Look how
So,
smart you are.
we love
Look how
happy
smart.
numbers.
Look at how smart.
Yeah, smart, thanks.
So yes, I highly recommend listening back to that because again, we did some amazing research for that, and I'm very pleased with how that came out.
Me too.
Um, but so we'll be talking about some more of the superstitions today. And
Mhm.
I first wanted to do, because again, being the tremendous dork that I am, I decided to discover where do superstitions come from. So I figured
Mhm.
maybe we'll start out with that and then we'll get into like a little bit of the nitpicky stuff. So
Yeah, 'cause I
where
feel
do
like there's lots
superstitions
when it
come
comes
from
to
is
theater. Yeah, I
yes.
don't we are a very superstitious group of individuals,
Yes,
so
and some more than others, of course, and not
Mhm.
all theater people will abide by all of these, it's kind
Mhm.
of, pick and choose your own things, but,
Yeah, but, like,
I have
bankers don't have their superstitions, like, you walk into a bank and it's like,
like
"Don't hit the number sign," like, no, like, it's just theater
I don't know,
people.
maybe they do.
Maybe
Bankers
they
write
do.
in. Maybe you have some superstitions we don't know about.
I know, my sister's a librarian, I'll have to ask her if they have any
Ooh,
superstitions. I don't think
You know
so,
what?
though.
I'm willing to bet they do.
I don't know, 'cause librarians are so, like, logical.
Ew.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
So let's see. Obviously, a lot of the superstitions we're going to talk about are going to come out of some really practical, like pragmatic reasons. But
Mhm.
over time, they've turned into superstition or myth because of like the effects, quote unquote, of what happens around them.
Yeah.
So that brings us to where do superstitions come from? There's quite a few different things that I want to mention. So, can come from cultural tradition. Superstitions can be passed down through generations, even subconsciously. For example, the ancient Egyptians revered cats, which may have led to the belief that a black cat crossing your path is good luck
Mhm.
because they were highly revered for the Egyptians. The next one would be individual experiences. So, superstitions can arise from things that can't be explained rationally, such as absent minded. The next one would be language. So, superstitions can be linked to the belief that language has power, such as knock on wood or raising a glass to cheers. Of course, a lot of that comes from different types of etymology. So, I don't want to get into the weeds of that, but
Mhm.
language is a part of it. Misinterpretations was one that I hadn't thought of. So, the next one would be misinterpretations, which I hadn't thought of.
Mm.
Superstitions can stem from a misinterpretation of scientific facts, such as the idea that light attracts lightning, which I had not heard and
I don't
was
think I've
like, that sounds like
I
a
don't think I've
dumb.
ever heard that. Wait, what does that
No,
even mean? Light
no.
attracts lightning.
I don't fucking listen.
Like,
I
if
didn't
I
know what
stand outside with, like, a flashlight,
that.
like, facing the
That's just
sky.
the metal of
Yeah,
the
well, if I stand outside with a plastic flashlight,
I have no idea. And then
shoot a
the next
laser
one
at the
would
sky.
be
Mhm.
just holding up a lighter.
Mhm. Yeah. Ah.
Um, the next one is intuitive notions based on intuitive ideas about how the world works, such as the principles of similarity and contagion,
Mm.
which I thought was fascinating.
Mhm.
And the last one being operant conditioning can be learned and maintained through operant conditioning, which is the association of a behavior with a positive outcome, even if there's no causal connection.
Hmm.
So something happens and you go, oh, that's because of this thing, even though there is no actual causation happening. So
Yeah.
um, yeah, but you make that connection in your head, and then that creates the superstition. So
Hmm.
just a little bit of cool background.
Yeah. Oh, wait,
Um,
really, really quick, do you have any 'cause I have one. Do you have any, like, personal, like, habits or superstitions?
ooh,
Here, I
I
can tell you
I
I can
actually I don't walk under ladders.
Oh, okay.
But
Because
that's
I'm
I
a
think for
painter, I
me
do
it's
all the
it's
time.
for me it's
I
more of
have
a
to.
safety thing.
Mhm.
Of like I feel like especially working around so many like carpenters and stuff or like
Mhm.
I know that I am the type of carp that I will accidentally leave a fucking hammer sitting on top of the ladder with me.
Danica, no.
Yes, I'm a jerk.
No.
I'm an idiot. So, but we all do that from time to time. We don't think about it. We're like, I'm gonna take my tape measure off my belt and
Mhm.
set it down. And for some reason, God forbid somebody walks underneath it and it falls, whatever.
Yeah.
Or if, God forbid, the ladder collapses on itself. If you've got a shitty A-frame ladder, like it
Mhm.
could happen. So for that
Yeah.
reason, that's like my big one.
See, I have to walk under ladders as a painter. I mean, I literally did it, like,
I
not
get
too long ago because you just, like, get yourself in these tiny little spaces, so you're like, "I have to." But no, mine is not theater related. This is
Oh,
gonna sound so ridiculous, but
hmm,
I don't paint my nails. I will paint my toes, but I will not paint my nails because I
hmm,
think it was, like, when I was, I don't know, 14 or something or 15 or whatever, like, I got into, like, a car wreck or something,
hmm.
and, like, I had just painted my nails, and then, like, over the next 10 years, every time I painted my nails, something happened.
That's operant conditioning.
Mhm, and
I
so
think
now
mixed with individual experience, like
yeah, so now there you go. But yeah, I
Mhm.
literally won't do it. In fact, I actually
Wow.
tried it not too long ago, like, I mean, not too long ago being, like, a year ago, just to see and be
Mm.
like, "Screw it," and it ended up, like, I had like, I think it was right before I went on a trip and, like, all this stuff
I
happened that went
I
wrong, and so
remember you telling me about this.
mhm, so
Yeah.
now I'm like, "No, I will not do it anymore. I will not."
Wow.
So,
I don't blame you.
yeah.
God. Yeah.
Luckily, I at least have a little bit of an excuse because I work with my hands at work,
Yes.
so if I
Mhm.
was to paint my nails, they're just gonna get
It would
ruined
get shitty
anyway.
anyway.
But still, it's like if I'm ever at, like, a fancy event or, like, my sister comes into town, she's like, "Let's get our nails done." I'm like,
Nope.
"No, I don't
You
wanna
just
die
do
today."
just do little, like, press-on nails, then it doesn't count as painting.
That is true. Ooh, I should try
Mhm.
that. We'll see what
Yeah.
happens. I do a press-on nail and the world blows up. I'm like, "God damn it."
It's for the best at that point.
That's true. Yeah, I'll do it on election day.
Excuse me,
Anyway.
to grumble. She's being her little grumble grouse over there.
Yeah.
What you grumbling about?
Oh my gosh. She's like, I don't do my nails either.
Sometimes she does.
Yeah.
We should. She needs to get them done.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I think I mentioned this one briefly during the last episode, kind of by accident.
Mhm. Yeah.
But now here's the meat of the situation. So I'm going to talk about why we do not whistle in the theater. And
Yeah.
I will say my colleague Mia is adamant about this. I mean, she
Mhm.
will straight up go, "Who's whistling?"
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, she is she is very adamant about it.
Meanwhile, like, I feel like I will walk around, like, whistling all the
I've
time
done
at
it
home.
accidentally a few times and
Yeah.
she's, like, lost her shit at me, and I'm like, "Oh my god, I'm sorry. Oh
Yeah.
god."
Well, 'cause, like, I don't wanna sing. I wanna just, like, whistle a tune or
Mhm.
something. So, anyway.
And I do okay, I'll be honest here. So, I used to know how to whistle, like,
While you work.
whatever,
Oh.
but now I actually only can whistle inhaling.
Mm, I can do both. I can do both.
But I can't whistle with
I was like,
exhaling.
all I
It
can
doesn't
hear is just wind over the
That's
microphone.
'cause that's what's happening. I'm sorry, I don't know how to do it. So, the roots of this superstition actually date back to at least the 17th century. So, before stage managers, there were prompters. So, obviously people that were on book who created the
Mhm.
acting version of the play scripts and assigned the roles for a stock company of actors, oversaw rehearsals. They were called actor managers, that kind of thing. Um, and cued music, special effects, scene changes, that kind of thing. So, in the days before electricity, the prompters would stand backstage and cue the scene changes by either whistling or by ringing bells.
That's so cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah. So speculation suggests that the practice was borrowed from nautical traditions of whistling on ships and docks to raise and lower sails and cranes. This is mostly because the theater season actually coincided with the cold winter months when the shipping trade slowed. So they would hire sailors and dock workers who would be out of work during the season as their stagehands
Oh, that's so
because
cool.
they knew how to they already knew how to handle ropes and rigging systems and how to repair rips in canvas and things like that. So there was like, oh, these people are perfect for the job. Let's just hire them. So
Nice.
if they already know that certain whistles mean certain things, it's the same language.
Huh.
Um, and prompt books from the Restoration through the late 19th century often include a W on the page to mark whistle for a scene change.
Mhm.
Yeah. So the whistle could be heard by the audience, but it was actually an understood convention of the time that didn't seem to detract from the experience of watching the play. So it
Yeah.
was just a given, like every once in a while, you're going to hear a whistle or maybe a little bell.
Yeah.
But in particularly dramatic scenes, some prompters may have used a silent cue, maybe holding up the appropriate number of fingers to indicate which backdrop or curtain was to change so that you did still hear it.
Mhm.
But understandably, because of this, a let's call it a moratorium, if you will,
Oh, no.
against whistling on stage ensured that the prompter's whistle would be understood without confusion.
Mhm.
Because if by accident you're just whistling and you do a particular type of whistle, an
Yeah.
innocent actor could inadvertently whistling in the wings could send a backdrop flying in too soon
Oh, no.
or send a stage weight rocketing through the air and all of
Yeah.
a sudden you are crushed by scenery
Oh my
or you've
gosh.
got a fly coming in that you did not
Weren't
know was supposed to be where
anticipating.
you are.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that is the history behind why we do not whistle in theaters. And of course now with the advent of electricity and with headsets and wonderful things that we've got now,
Yeah.
we no longer need to use this system of whistles,
Mhm.
but it's still that's that holdover of we used to use it for pragmatic purposes, and now
Mhm.
because that holdover, it's still considered bad luck to do it because on the off chance that maybe I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that maybe some stagehands, i.e., off work sailors, are
Mhm.
still ghosting around in the
Yeah, are
rafters. They
still yeah.
may like
Mhm.
the
Hanging
cue and like,
around.
and then
Mhm.
you're squished. So don't get squished by
That's
whistling.
That's so interesting. Yeah, obviously I knew that whistling was a no-no, but I had no idea why. That's kinda
Yeah,
cool.
I love
Yeah,
whistling.
whistle and some random ghosty will drop a piece of scenery
Yeah,
on your
you
head.
never know.
You never know.
You never know when a sailor ghost stagehand
Mhm.
Ghost Sailor Stagehand, that's the name of the episode.
I'm writing it down. Ghost Sailor Stagehand.
Will be like, "Oh shit, that was my cue."
Mhm, like, "Ah,
Drops fly.
I've waited 200 years. My time has come.
Finally, I can bring in Q36.
Ah." Um, I don't know if you remember or not, but my cousin asked me that question of, like, "If you were to die tomorrow and became
Yeah.
a ghost, what would you be?"
Mhm.
I wanna be that.
That's the kind of stagehand you would be. Okay.
I wanna be
Now
the
now that
sailor
we're clear.
ghost. Yeah. Anytime that somebody whistles.
Gotcha, bitch.
Finally. Perfect. Nice. No,
That's
that's so
amazing.
cool. That's
Yeah,
super cool.
alright, your turn. What's our
My
first one?
turn. Okay, so my first one is another like fairly well-known one. So it is not saying good luck before a show, but instead saying break a leg.
Okay, can I pop in here with a quick line from the producers?
Yes, please. I was gonna look
Such a
that up,
dork I
but
am.
I did not. So yes, please.
It's bad luck to say good luck on opening night. The end.
Oh, okay.
That's all I
They
got.
have like a whole song on it,
They
right?
sure do, and it's
Mhm.
hysterical. Thank you, Mel Brooks. Continue.
Nice. Okay, so the idea of like I said not saying good luck comes from a couple of different things. So for one, saying good luck to a performer introduces anxiety and a general idea of self-doubt.
No
It
shit.
basically means that you have to require luck in order to do a good job.
Ooh, shit. I hadn't even
Mhm.
thought of it that way. That
Yeah.
is
So I
ooh.
literally wrote, like, undermines confidence and creates a dependency on luck.
Ooh, that is
Mhm.
harsh, but so true.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So, instead of saying "good luck," we now say "break a leg." And so, although the phrase, itself might seem and sound sinister, like, "Break a leg, because I want you to break a leg so that I can go on stage for you," kind
Hope
of a
you
thing.
snap a femur.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of people think that that's where it came from, but it actually isn't. That's actually not usually where, it originates from. The only one that is sinister that I found is in horse racing. So,
Ooh,
that one, they do say it in a sinister way of, like, "Hopefully your horse breaks a leg."
that's fucked up.
Yeah, that was the only negative
Ooh.
yeah, that was the only negative one I could find.
Ooh, I did not know that. That's vicious. Ew.
Mhm. Yeah,
Ooh.
so the phrase "break a leg" comes from a couple of different sayings. So the first one is in German, where they say, Hals- und Beinbruch, which literally
Sure.
means neck and leg bone break,
Oh,
which they apparently German pilots used to say to each other. And then I'm not gonna try and say these, but there's also, a similar phrase in Yiddish, which also, is bone and leg break, which means success and blessing, and then in Hebrew, same thing,
mm.
and it means wish for good luck. So
Did not know that. How did I
yeah.
not know that?
Yeah, I was like I wrote down the how to say it in Yiddish and Hebrew. I'm not gonna try and say it. I was like, I can do the German one, but that's it. But anyway, so in the end, these were all like that's kind of where the actual phrase maybe originated from, or at least
Hmm,
became more popular.
interesting.
Um, so a couple of other examples of break a leg are so during Richard III, a man named David Garrick was apparently so entranced by the audience and their love of his performance that he didn't realize that he had literally broken his leg.
I feel like you're acting too hard.
I know, right? Your leg is broken.
Be like, "This
Um,
is fine. This is fine. Everything's fine."
it's fine. Everything's fine. My leg's broken, but they love me. They really love me. The other one is, so in the Elizabethan era, if your performance was enjoyed, people would throw money on stage, as
Mhm.
opposed to if they don't like it, and they would throw rotten veggies at you.
Yeah.
And so therefore you would literally need to bend down, bend
Bend the
your
knee.
knee,
Mhm.
and pick up your profits. So break
Hmm.
a leg. And then the one of the last ones, which I this is one that I hadn't heard of, but when I researched it, I was
Mm.
like, that makes sense. So, um, there are lots of different curtains backstage and on stage and all that kind of stuff. And so the legs are a type of curtain that is, yeah, narrow drapes that are hung parallel to the proscenium and on the sides of the stage.
Mhm.
And so, in layman's term, the legs are literally what frames the stage.
Yeah.
And also, it masks the wings. It
Mhm.
used for hiding spots, to preset props and set pieces, and for actors to prepare to go on
People.
stage.
Yep.
Exactly. And so, by saying break a leg, it means you literally made it on stage. So,
I'm gonna add an extra little thing here,
mhm,
because I happen to know also the section of that part of it
mhm,
comes from vaudeville. So if you were
mhm,
to break a leg, it means you were able to get on stage and perform. And
mhm.
vaudeville actors, there were so many vaudeville acts that were happening
Yeah,
that if you made it on stage, you got to perform and then got paid. If you did not perform, you did not get paid.
yeah,
So you are
exactly.
wishing someone the opportunity to get
Mhm,
on stage and get paid. So, yeah.
exactly.
Yay!
Exactly. So there's a couple of I wrote, a couple of other things, so obviously, like, breaking a leg can also involve, like, how people bow usually, because a lot of
Mhm.
men will, they bow at the waist, but a lot of women literally do,
It's
like,
the
the cross
curtsy.
the leg and,
Mhm.
yeah, break the leg. So a couple of other things really quick. So this is one that we actually do at Cirque,
Hmm.
but you say, and a lot of people do it in opera, and it's not necessarily break a leg, but you do toy, toy,
Toy, toy,
toy.
toy.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah, and so toy, 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 signifies spitting 3 times, which usually comes from, I guess saliva has demon warding off person or, properties?
Sure.
That's what I read. It's like, yeah, that's why people spit is,
Mhm.
yeah, demons don't like saliva,
Sure.
so next time you
Do
come
you
across a demon,
know
just spit on it.
the one for dance companies is melt?
Yeah, I was gonna say that one.
Yay, okay.
Okay, yes.
I'm
That's the
jumping the
last
gun,
one.
sorry.
Yes,
Mhm.
so yeah, the other one is saying, merde, which they also do, at Blue Man Group. They actually go, "Toy, toy, toy, merde,"
Oh,
which means
shit.
shit. And so I thought that this was really cute, but here's, like, the supernatural part of it. But
Ooh.
essentially, by saying break a leg or merde, it's supposed to confuse the theatrical pixies that
Mhm.
might create, and wreak havoc. And therefore they will be confused and be like, "Oh, they're already creating havoc. We're just gonna leave it and let them do their own thing." And so basically it doesn't invite the theatrical pixies to
That might be
create
my
their
favorite
own
part of that. Yeah,
havoc.
I love that. I
Mhm,
love that.
I thought it was very cute.
That's
So
super
yeah.
cute. I love that.
So that is, yeah, that is, saying break a leg instead of good luck.
Woo! Yay!
Mhm.
Oh, yeah. Alright, so now it's my turn again.
Yeah.
So we're gonna move on to this is tenfold weird. So now we're going to get into the superstition of why you should not wear green on the stage. So there are
Mm.
many reasons actually why some people consider it bad luck for actors to wear green on stage, including this comes from partially outdoor performances. So when performances are held outdoors, it's kind of difficult to distinguish an actor from the
A tree!
background. Like trees, grass, bushes. You're like,
Huh.
"But where's the actor?" Like,
But where's the actor?
it's like, I feel like most people are more intelligent than that, but maybe I'm giving people too much credit. I don't
That
know.
is true, yeah, especially, yeah, back in the day, who knows?
No, trust me, even now, people are
Even now.
not bright. People are not bright. Um,
Mhm.
And this is, I can't believe we haven't done any trivia yet, but here's my first
Mm.
trivia for you, Jill.
Mhm.
So, 1673, there was a performance of a play. The play's name is The Imaginary Invalid, and the person who wrote it was also the person who was acting in it as the main character.
Okay.
And he had a coughing fit on stage and brought on by tuberculosis. Of course, he had TB.
Mhm.
And he started to hemorrhage, and he finished the performance somehow, but hours later he died still in costume, and the costume was
Mhm.
green, so of course it's considered unlucky to wear green since then. And the
Yeah.
French, because of that, it was a French man.
Mhm.
I will give you that clue. um any ideas who this would be? He was a writer and actor.
No!
1673. Oh, you know this.
I don't think I do.
Moliere.
No, I don't know that.
What? Okay.
I don't know writers and actors.
Okay. Well, it was
So
Moliere. It was Moliere.
okay.
Yeah, it was his production of The Imaginary Invalid,
Okay.
and he died during a performance.
Nice. I think not
And
nice, but I think
well,
that one's on our list, isn't it? I think it's on the
probably.
list. Mhm.
But
Yeah.
yeah, that's basically the whole story, is that he had TB and he was doing a
Mhm.
performance of his own show that he wrote,
Mhm.
and he started hemorrhaging blood because TB. And yeah, he finished the perperformance. So,
Oh.
hats off, but
Yeah.
very much died.
I wonder if that's where they got Moulin Rouge from, 'cause that's
Oh,
what she does. She
the
dies of
whole hemorrhaging on stage from TB,
yeah,
yeah.
she dies from tuberculosis, literally coughing on
Spoilers, Jill.
stage. Oh, sorry.
Spoilers.
I mean, everybody lives, it's fine. Can. Woohoo! So my bad.
Excellent. Good recovery, good recovery.
Thanks.
So there are, of course, a couple more reasons behind this. So, when the first spotlight was invented, let's see if you remember this. It worked by burning a chemical called
Limelight.
quicklime, which was called limelight. Yes, 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 girl.
Mhm.
So, true to its name, the limelight actually had kind of a greenish glow. So, if
Mm.
an actor wore green, it would make you less visible. And I wrote, "See color theory."
Yeah, see, color theory.
And this is my favorite part of this entire superstition, though.
Mhm.
Toxic dyes. So, in the
Ah.
16th century, copper oxide was a toxic substance, that's hard to say, used
Mhm.
to dye fabrics green, which was, of course, also used in a lot of paintings, other art
Yep.
mediums. And actors who wore these costumes had them directly on their skin.
Mm.
So it could be harmful, it's also verdigris. It causes nausea, vomiting, lesions. So
Oof.
if you've ever seen, for in layman's terms, if you've ever seen a copper roof, when it oxidizes, it
Mhm.
turns that
Turns green.
beautiful green patina.
You know what's a great
That is
example?
copper oxide. Hmm.
The Statue of Liberty.
Yes, exactly.
Mhm. Yeah.
Originally copper, that beautiful,
Mhm.
like this kind of color that we're all familiar with copper,
Yep.
that when it oxidizes and
It
turns
turns
into
green.
copper oxide, it
Mhm.
turns green.
So don't lick the
So
Statue of Liberty.
oxidation, hence,
Mhm.
there you go. So
Yeah.
when that was the thing that was used to dye fabrics, that was toxic to the skin. So then in the 19th century, there are two well-known, pretty ubiquitous, let me try that word again, ubiquitous
Oh,
greens
man.
in the 19th century. One is called Scheele's green, aka Schloss green, and the
Hmm.
other is called Paris green.
Nice.
So Scheele's or Schloss green was a yellowish green color and pretty unstable, so it had a tendency to fade or oxidize quickly.
Hmm.
But Paris green, which is a deeper or more emerald color, was invented in 1814 to improve on Scheele's green to make it last a little bit longer.
Hmm.
But the problem with both of these, Jill, was what were these made with? Take a wild guess. It's real
Arsenic.
toxic. Yes!
Yes! I
Yes!
was like,
They were
it took
both
me a second.
made with arsenic.
Mhm.
So if you know anything about arsenic poisoning, all my
Mhm.
murderino friends out there would know,
Mhm.
it is a gruesome and painful death,
Yep.
and
And
not
we used to
always quick.
I was like, and we used to put it in makeup.
Uh-huh.
That's what made me be
So
like
the lesson here is maybe don't put poison on your skin? Question
Mhm.
mark.
I know, right?
I don't know. Just a thought. I
Yeah.
don't know. Hey, monkey. So, the other end of this story is actually, it's a little bit less well known, is the superstition of not wearing blue,
Yeah, I
but
was gonna ask
for
about
different
that.
reasons,
Okay.
entirely different reasons. So,
Yeah, because when
blue,
I
on the other hand, actually has a I would say it's actually a less exciting reason
mhm,
for being considered unlucky. So, blue dye was the most expensive of the colors,
mm,
which is, to me, kind of funny because indigo was one of the most popular, like, blue dyes,
yeah.
um, but, I actually discovered when I was researching all of the green dyes, there was something called woad, which is, another blue dye, but
Hmm,
that would have been fairly easy to get a hold of. It's another plant-based dye,
yeah.
but so woad would actually have been mixed with the yellow dyes to create the greens. So I don't know what
Mm.
is anyway, so I don't know why
Hmm,
you wouldn't have just used woad. Anyway,
yeah.
but indigo would have been one of the most expensive dyes to use, so producers actually are the ones who began
They were
to
like,
spread
"No."
the rumor that blue was unlucky for costumes
That's
because it was so
funny.
expensive.
That's kind of like in, the painting world.
Hmm.
Weirdly enough, the color orange is one of the most expensive ones.
Really? I did not know
Mhm.
that.
Yeah, the
Hmm.
color orange and, the color purple. Like, if you
Hmm.
go online, like, we use off-Broadway Roscoe paint, like, they're
Yeah.
not all the same price. It's not just a gallon for whatever. Like, they
Yeah.
all change in prices, and I
Hmm.
haven't looked in a while, but for a long time, yeah, orange is the most expensive one. So
Why?
it has to be whatever dyes they use, and then
That's
purple
wild.
is, like, usually the second most expensive, and, like, the amount of times that I've ever painted a stage orange or purple are, like, that much. So
Whoa.
mhm.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's worth looking into, y'all.
Yeah.
If you know, feel free to tell us because 'cause we're
Yes.
curious.
I know.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, my guess is it has to be the dyes of some kind,
yeah.
so I don't know, but,
Oh, one fun little side note about this is that, blue costumes with silver lining were, though, considered very lucky because that means that the theater company could afford expensive costumes and were therefore successful. So
Oh.
there was this weird dichotomy between, like, if you're using blue dye, it means your company is very expensive and, like, can afford all these great things.
Mm.
But on the other hand, it was kind of like putting on a production of
Macbeth.
Macbeth,
Mhm.
yes,
Yep.
because it was considered that thing of, like, here's our last ditch effort to show everybody that we have money.
Yeah, to show everybody that we're doing okay.
That's
Hmm,
right. And then,
nice.
wouldn't you know it, they fold.
It's all because of the blue and
Shocking.
silver. Why did we put Lady M in a blue and silver outfit? It was a disaster from the beginning.
Damn it, why didn't we just put her in brown?
I know, right? Ah,
Good lord.
nice.
Alright, you're up.
Oh, man, that was cool. Yeah, didn't know that. I didn't know any of that.
Mhm.
Okay, so mine is, so this one, it's not necessarily a superstition, it's
Mm.
more of a tradition.
Ah.
And if you don't do it, then people get superstitious. And it
Mm.
is it is a purely Broadway, one. So this is, the legacy robe or the gypsy robe.
And this I
So
know nothing about, I'm so excited.
yeah, so the only reason I remember, researching it, and then I remember seeing a video of
Hmm.
it, of someone getting it. So, essentially, before the opening night of a new Broadway musical, all of the actors, stage managers, crew, and basically everybody associated with the show will gather on stage, for the Legacy Robe ceremony.
Oh.
Um and this is, and the stage will also have a representative from the Actors Equity
Uh-huh.
Association and the most recent honoree
Hmm.
or the former gypsy.
Okay.
Um, so here are the rules for it.
Hmm.
So the robe will always go, to a Broadway musical with a chorus.
Hmm.
The robe will go to a chorus member only, and it
Oh.
is whoever has the most, credits to them.
Huh.
Mhm. So
Hmm.
the ceremony happens a half an hour before opening night,
Oh.
and then the rules for the recipient is they will have the robe put on them by the most previous person, and they will do 3 circles on the stage counterclockwise around everybody. Um, and all the people standing around will basically like touch and reach out and, brush it for good luck. And then the new recipient will also visit each dressing room before the show opens. Um, and then a couple of little things is basically every time that it's given to somebody new, they put a new application to it. And so they will supervise the addition um, for the applique because it must be wearable, durable, lightweight, sturdy, and reasonable sized. And it also should have some kind of memento related to the show and has to have their name on it, name and date.
Okay, for people listening, can you just describe what is happening with
I
my
know, I
face
feel
right
like
now?
you're, like, in love right now. You're, like, so giddy. I feel like you're about to
So
cry.
cute! Oh my
Mhm.
god! This
Yeah,
is the cutest thing I've ever heard of.
I think it's really, really cute. So and then the last thing is that the most recent recipient will then attend the opening night for the next one to pass it on.
I love
So,
it. I love
yeah,
it.
it's very cute. So, this originated back in 1950 when a chorus
Oh.
member, Florence Baum, who was in A Gentleman Preferred Blonde,
Oh.
took the leading lady's gown and started to wear it around to all the dressing rooms.
Oh.
Um, so he literally entered the men's dressing room wearing a pale pink robe adorned with feathers. And
Hell
then
yeah.
each member of the chorus ended up putting on the robe, and it's supposed to be for good luck. And then what started the rotation was a rose, from Ethel Merman's costume from
Oh
Guys and Dolls
my
was
god.
added, and that started the mementos
Oh,
tradition. So,
I love this so much.
mhm.
I love this
So
so much.
when a robe is full of momentums, a new one is started, and the old robes can be seen in the Smithsonian or at the Actors Equity Union.
Oh my god.
So they keep 'em all.
How do I not know about this? Oh my god, this is so cute.
Yeah,
This is
so
so
the reason
cute.
that I know about it is because obviously I really like Moulin Rouge, and I've been following it, like, ever since they, were doing previews in Boston.
Mhm.
And so when they opened on Broadway, because I follow so many of them on Instagram, I watched them do this ceremony, which is why I was like, "I think I remember this." So, some of the most recent recipients, and I apologize if I mess up anybody's name, but so for Hadestown, it was given to Oliver Reed, Moulin
Oh.
Rouge was Baya Haba, Sweeney Todd was Daniel Torres, Shucked was Dwayne Clark, Merrily We Roll Along was Jacob Watson, Water for Elephants, Paul Castry, The Outsiders went to Tilly Even Druger, and The Great Gatsby went to Katie Weber.
Oh my god.
Mhm.
This makes my heart so happy.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah,
this.
I know, I thought it was very, very cute. And so
Oh,
the whole idea of the superstition obviously is that wearing the cloak is good luck, and passing it around, and every cast member needs to touch it. They have to do the rotations, and they
oh my
have to,
god.
like, wear it all around the theater, and that
Oh my
will
god.
basically grant the show, a good opening.
I
So,
why am I so emotional about
I
this?
don't know, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I got really emotional with it too. I just
This
think
is
it's
so
so
cute.
cute.
Oh my god.
Mhm. Because I couldn't remember what it was called. I messaged Zeke, and
Mhm.
just to remind everybody he's the guy in The Lion King, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Hey, do you know anything about this robe?" And he was like, "No." Like,
Mm.
"What is that?" And then now I realize, well, yeah, it's because it only comes out on opening,
Opening.
and Lion King opened
A
way back
billion
when.
years ago.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Oh my god, I love that.
Yeah, yeah, so
Yay.
that is the legacy robe or the gypsy robe, though now it's more
Oh.
so known as the legacy robe, so
Oh. Mm.
there you go.
Well, mine are more bummer than that, but
Sorry.
okay, so I'm just gonna jump into my last ones are I'm kind of combining the two because there's not a ton of information about either of these.
Mhm.
Um, so the first one being never bring a peacock feather on stage. You are never supposed to wear or carry a peacock feather on stage,
Hmm.
and it is inspired by the pattern on the feather that to many looks like an evil eye. Yeah, it looks like an eyeball.
Mhm.
So this is supposedly it will bring misfortune or even injury to anybody who holds it on stage or like wears it or whatever. So don't do it.
What if you have it tattooed on you?
I think that's different.
I was like, I have it tattooed on me.
Yeah, I was like, I don't think that counts. I think it's like if you carry one and the audience can see
Mhm.
it,
Yeah.
maybe that's it. I don't know. I might be making that up to make you feel
No,
better.
that's yeah. I mean, I'm also not an actor, so I never go on stage, but yes.
Oh, fuck it, whatever. So there are two interesting things of like the belief may come from the Greek myth of Argus. For people who don't remember, Argus was the guy who's like got a million eyes or whatever, and
Mm,
Hera like puts all of his eyes on the peacock feathers, and that's why there are eyes on the peacock feathers is because of Argus. Um,
mhm.
or from the demon Lilith, which
Ooh,
I
I love
prefer
Lilith.
because right.
Mhm. I love Lilith. Mhm.
I prefer that one.
She a badass
Anyway,
bitch. Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
For anybody who I didn't say this before, but when I directed She Kills Monsters last year, I was like,
Mhm.
oh shit, Lilith is like the coolest though.
Really is.
She's so
Honestly, have you ever seen really, really quick, have you ever seen, oh crap, Sabrina, the new series
oh,
on
not the new ones,
Netflix?
no.
So, one of the main characters is Lilith.
Gasp.
Mhm,
Mm.
and, like, I'm not gonna lie, like, she's kind of like a bad character, like, she's a bad lady and all that kinda stuff,
Well,
but the
yeah, she's
character
Lilith.
yeah, but the character who plays her is like, "Why are you
Yeah.
so hot?" Yeah.
Because she's Lilith. She's gotta be hot.
Mhm, exactly. So,
Like,
anyway.
yeah, when we did She Kills Monsters, I was like, Sitka, who played Lilith, I was like,
Mhm.
they're the exact right person for this. They're like smoking hot and like they're
Mhm.
that attitude. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, queen.
Oh my gosh. Love it!
Brilliant,
Mhm.
brilliant. Anyway, so the next point of this is mirrors. So
Mhm.
mirrors on stage are also meant to be bad luck. Um, some say this is because of the fear of the mirror breaking, given that the other superstition about mirrors being like 7 years of bad luck if you break a
Mhm.
mirror.
Yeah.
Or perhaps the other idea that mirrors are like a gateway for evil spirits to cross over into the world of the living. So
I
that
was
could be part of it.
I was always told it's because you're gonna piss off your lighting designer.
That's
Yeah,
the pragmatic, practical theory. That was my next point, was like,
sorry.
so
I just
I
remember
love that we keep doing this, like, we
I know,
know the end of each other's
I'm sorry.
story.
We are theater people, we know where these things
We
come
know this
from
shit.
sometimes.
But so yes, exactly, the practical theory is it's considered bad luck because obviously they reflect light, and
Mhm.
your lighting designer is gonna be like, the fuck, friend?
Yeah, what the hell? Mhm.
How do I design this without hitting a spotlight and then you like blind an actor who walks off the end of the stage,
Oh,
or
no!
you blind the audience, or
Oh my
doesn't
gosh.
sound ideal.
No.
Although to be fair, many I've actually had many productions where we've had mirrors on stage and everything went great and the
Mhm.
lighting designer did amazing. Jekyll and
Yeah.
Hyde is a perfect example of that. My entire upstage wall was
Oh.
covered in like 1 foot by 1 foot little squares of like mylar mirrors,
Mhm.
and Robin had no problem. Josh
Yeah,
had
I
no
mean,
problem.
Phantom of the Opera is, like, all mirrors at certain
Yeah,
spots, so
so fucking deal with it.
mhm. I think
This
all the
this is our
mirrors
note to lighting designers. You can deal with it, I
I
promise.
know, right? That's the other thing with I think the color purple is that lighting
Yeah,
designers hate lighting it, and it's like, "Shut up." Like, I
learn your
also
color theory.
yeah, I also hate building props that actors break over and over and over again, but I still do it.
Gotcha, bitch.
Oh my.
That was exceptional. Oh
Oh,
god.
man.
Yep.
Yeah.
You have another one? You have another one?
I do, I
Yes,
have one
okay,
more.
good. Okay,
Okay,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so my last one is also a little combination.
Sorry.
This is a good one. Okay, so mine is a little combination, so it involves, flowers, and
Oh,
when
yeah.
to give them. So, because there are the right times and there are the wrong times.
Mhm.
So, kind of
Mhm.
similar to break a leg and all that kind of stuff. Obviously, giving actors flowers is a big tradition that we see in all kinds of movies and
And
just
it's a
in
lovely
general.
gesture.
A lovely
Thank you.
gesture. Exactly.
Thank
But
you. We like
you
it.
sh exactly. But you should not give them any flowers until after the first performance
Don't
because
do it.
exactly, because it's essentially the same thing as the break a leg or, good luck,
Mhm.
where it's like, you haven't even done your show yet. We don't even know if you're gonna be good or not.
You might suck ass
Yeah, so therefore you get flowers at the end.
after.
So
You gotta prove yourself for these flowers, bitch.
exactly. So the superstition is essentially if you're given flowers beforehand, then you're gonna not do as good of a job because you're
Mhm.
not gonna try as hard or it's gonna be in your head.
Mhm.
Um, so I went through and did a little deep dive on what kind of flowers you should give people.
Yes.
When it comes down to it, you should always give people a sturdy stem flower because you don't wanna be giving
We want
people
them
some
thick stems. You
well,
know what
the
I'm saying?
thick stems, them thick and sturdy. That's gonna be the other name, thick and sturdy stems. We're on fire today.
Oh my god, yes. Keep
So good.
going.
Oh my gosh.
Beautiful.
Ghost Sailor Stagehand and thick and sturdy stems. Alright. Anyway, so yeah, so you should always give them a sturdy stem flower because it means that they're sturdy, that they're strong.
I'm 12 years old. I'm so sorry.
I know. Whew, okay. We're gonna get through it. Okay. So, roses are obviously the most typical one that people go for, but roses are typically for ballet or opera,
Oh,
and those can be, thrown on stage or you can give the person a bouquet. Um,
just make sure you throw that rose right in their face. Just catch them with a thorn.
in their
That's
eyeball.
ideal.
Well, so for one, you should give yellow roses to people who you are trying to show friendship to.
Mhm.
You give pink as a sign of deep gratitude,
Oh,
and then red is obviously like,
hey, what's up?
"Hey, how you doing?
Yeah, how you doing?
How you doing?" And then roses that are given to you that have thorns still on it, meaning that you did a bad job or it's from a scorned lover.
No way. Listen, who's gonna take the time to cut off the fucking thorns? Can we
I
be
mean,
real
if you
about
buy
that?
it from a flower shop, usually they take the thorns off.
If you buy them from a fucking grocery store, they don't. Who's
Well,
who's
they
gonna take
don't like it.
who's thinking about it?
We're
Really?
educating people. Okay,
Okay, so from now on, that's what I expect.
no
Cut them
thorns.
damn thorns off, or we fighting.
Yeah, well, I mean, in general, it kinda makes sense. It's like you don't wanna get something with thorns on it.
Oh,
So
well.
but anyway, so, okay, some other flowers that you can give are carnations, which represent pride and admiration,
Wait,
specific
I thought that you weren't supposed to give carnations.
oh, I don't know.
I thought I saw a thing that was like, "Don't give carnations," because that means, like,
Mm,
I like you, but not, like, that
mm.
much.
Well, I mean yeah, I mean, it is just admiration, so maybe it's
Yeah,
like, "You did
debatable.
fine."
I don't know.
But either way, so pink equals gratitude and white
Hmm.
equals good luck.
Oh.
You can also give irises, which,
Oh,
mean
so pretty.
courage,
Ooh.
as well as, purple is the best one to give because that is for admiration.
Aw.
And then you can also give orchids, which
Yeah.
represent beauty, strength, and femininity.
Ooh, I love
Um
that.
and then you can also give a potted plant to someone that you really adore and, want to see them grow.
Okay, okay, shout
Mhm.
out to Abby Fralix, who gave each of us on opening night a
Mhm.
potted plant that was a cutting of her pothos plants.
Oh, cute! The
It was
friendship plants.
one of my
Mhm.
castmates for Great Beyond. I love
Yeah,
you, Abby, you're so wonderful, thank you for that, so now I know exactly what that means, and I love you and thank you.
nice. Okay, so now we're gonna do, a really quick quiz. Just
Oh,
throw
oh shit.
just throw stuff out. So, this
Okay.
is the what kind of flowers should you give? So, you just saw a friend who did a very good job.
Hmm.
Should you give them?
Probably some yellow roses.
Mhm. Yellow roses. What
Hmm.
would you give to the boy that you have a crush on?
Oh, some red roses.
Yes, or purple irises.
Or oh
Mhm.
yeah. Mm.
Yes. And then this one is
Or
just
the girl.
yeah.
Don't yeah. Mhm.
Mhm,
Mhm.
I said, and then the
Mhm.
next one was a woman you admire, which that one is red
Also
roses.
purple orchids.
And then yeah, right?
If she
Yeah,
had,
yeah.
listen.
What should you give to your bestest friend in the whole wide world?
Probably
Whatever the fuck her favorite flower is.
peacock feathers.
Peacock feathers and purple roses with thorns. Bitch.
You fucking whore.
The
That's
last
just
one
us though.
yeah, the last one that I wrote is, what should you give to someone that you wanna bang? A bouquet of condoms and a gift card to Domino's.
Oh, shit.
I wrote that quiz last night at, like, 1 AM.
Peak comedy, y'all. We have designed peak comedy. Thank you very
Beat
much. Good night.
comedy. Oh my gosh. Okay, so those are the opening night flowers and all that kinda stuff. So the
Oh,
other thing is, the graveyard bouquet, which the
ooh,
graveyard
yeah.
yeah, the graveyard bouquet is typically, given to the director at the close of the show. And what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to literally go and get a bouquet from a
From a
graveyard.
graveyard, yeah.
And
I will
this
just mention I've never gotten a graveyard bouquet, so y'all are fucking trifling and, like,
Mhm.
where's my bouquet?
Yeah, where's my bouquet? My dead
Just
person
saying.
bouquet. So the whole thing, the whole originating is, that they obviously wanted to thank the director for doing a good job and all that kinda stuff, but back in the day, they didn't have a lot of money, and so a group of people would just go steal bouquets
Mhm.
from a graveyard. So
Mhm.
and that became a nice little tradition, obviously, signifying the death and the end of the show and all that kinda stuff.
Mhm.
So
I saw something a while ago. I don't even know where I saw this, but this was, like, maybe a few years ago even, that was, like, you give I'm sure this is just a holdover, but it was, like, the
mhm.
director would give roses to a person who they were renewing their contract and carnations to the person that were not renewing their contract. I was like, "That's
Mm.
so fucked."
Yeah, I'll have to look it up because I didn't see anything. Because I
Mhm.
actually the way that I found, like, what the flowers were and what they symbolize is I went to, like, it was a Broadway site that was like, "What
Oh,
flowers should I buy?" kind of a thing, and
nice.
so that's what
Cool.
it said, so it didn't it carnations were the 2nd thing on the list, so
Oh,
but
shit.
maybe there is, I'll have to look that up and maybe I'll put it in, like, our show notes or
Mhm.
something, so
Yeah.
but yeah.
Cool, awesome. That is
Yeah.
very good information for everyone out there.
I know, those were some super good superstitions, I
Yeah, I love
enjoyed
it.
that quite a bit.
So, of course, there are some that we
Mhm,
did not cover, and so I will just really briefly just mention,
mhm.
um, we did not talk about, candles. There's one about, don't do candles in groups of 3.
Yeah, and little
Um,
trios.
yeah, no groups of 3, and it's because, whoever stands next to the lowest burnt candle is said to be the first to die. Um
Oh, interesting.
yeah, I
Mhm.
couldn't really find, like, references as to why well, like, where that comes from,
Yeah, if it came from
but,
anything.
like, my thought is maybe just don't have live fire on stage
Yeah, that's
because
that's what I
it
read
will
is that it
burn the
was
place
like
down.
yeah, that's what I read is that it was like a trio of candles, but also, you know what, just,
Candles?
candles in
Just
general.
don't.
Yeah. You
Shit, what was
froze?
the other one I
Oh,
mentioned?
you're back, sorry.
What was the other
I
one?
don't I don't remember. The trio of candles is the one that I remembered, and
Yeah.
then you did the
Mhm.
blue in your other one, but as far as I know, like, all of the lists that I looked at, like, that's all of them. So
I'm sure there are more if there are more or if there are
mhm.
ones that you guys, like, abide by and you're like, "I will not go into a theater if" XYZ happens, or if you're the kind of theater person that makes people do the like, hey, you said Mackers,
Yeah.
go outside and do the whatever.
Mhm.
Like, please let us know because this is
Yeah.
so fascinating. I
Oh, I
love
love
I
this
love
stuff.
all this lore, and I
Mhm.
love to know where you heard it from
Yeah.
because that's also just this weird, like, the way that superstitions get passed down, I'm also
Mhm.
really curious about.
Yeah.
So I would love to know more about that.
Yeah. No, I asked a couple of my theater friends, like, if they had any specifically, and, like, they mostly would just name the normal ones.
Mhm.
And then my friend Matt, he was like, "I don't have any, but I did have a stage manager once where I would sit in the same chair every single day, like, during a long part of the show that I wasn't in and, like, read my book." And there was one day where, like, somebody else was sitting in the chair, and the stage manager was like, "No, get out. That's his chair."
Ooh,
But it was, like, coming
wow.
from, like, a superstition, like, standpoint of, like, "No, that's his spot. He must sit in the same
Oh,
spot every single day." So
interesting, yeah.
mhm. Yeah, so that one's kind of probably more similar to, like, me not wearing nail polish, where it's just, like,
Yeah.
you just find patterns and you're like,
Mhm.
"I'll stay the same.
I love it.
Stick to the
I
status
love
quo." Yeah.
it.
So but yeah.
Yay. Well, yeah, please feel free to tell us about other ones that
Yes.
maybe we left out or other ones
Mhm.
that you abide by or whatever.
Mhm.
Like, yeah, we're
Yeah.
happy to hear about them.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah, one thing I don't think that we've actually said it, but we do have, a website, which is www.leavetheghostlighton.com, or
Woo!
Leave the Ghostlight On,
Pod.
podcast, I think, or pod,
Po
.com.
yeah.
So, should
I
look
don't know,
that up.
look it up.
It'll be in the show notes. But we do have a contact us page where you
Cool.
can,
Mhm,
if you wanna send us stuff on Instagram, obviously you can, but you can also
mhm.
send longer stuff on our website. And
Yeah, like
actually, at the
email and all that kind of stuff.
yeah,
Mhm.
it'll go straight to our email. So and at the end of the month, actually, we're gonna try and do, like, a listener's story. So we need you
Yay!
guys to write in with
Please, please,
any of
please.
your with any of your, like, theater paranormal stories or even
Mhm,
theater tragedy stories,
mhm.
whichever. So feel free to go there and write us a nice little email, and then we will read it, or we'll reach out to you and get you actually on the show in person. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Hooray! Well,
Hooray.
thanks everybody for joining us again. We're
Yeah.
very excited to be back and doing our
Mhm.
regularly scheduled program.
Exactly. Yeah, back to recording. So, 'cause the last time that we recorded before the last episode was, like, 6 weeks. So,
Womp.
yeah, it's fun to get back into it. So,
Yeah.
happy to keep this train a-rolling.
Oh,
Check.
for
Until
people.
next time, don't forget to leave the ghost light on. Thank you for joining us. Leave the Ghost Light On was created, hosted, and edited by Danica Jackson and Jill Horn.
Musical composition created by Jay Nygaard.
Follow us on Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, Spotify, and more. Okay,
Anyway.
sorry.
Oh, hi, Juniper. Hi, baby. Hi. Hi, Mia.